Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to your Steeler Nation Vidcast, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. My weeks have been insane. I apologize. We've missed a couple weeks here of the show. We're doing a lot of reorganization over at the Steeler Nation Multimedia Network, which is launching soon. We got big news, which I'll just give to you right now. We got a bunch of new podcasts that are going to be starting up. I'm still going to be doing the Vidcast Q&As, trying to get them in on Tuesdays. Will be Tuesday next week. Since it's my only day off next week, got too many events next week. So we'll still be able to rock and roll with that. Otherwise, Trey Essex has just been signed by the Steeler Nation Multimedia Network. He will have his own podcast. He will also be appearing on the draft show. So all my draft heads, Kenny Beamer, Michael Hall of Fame, you guys know what's going on that. Miles Preskries, of course. Stryker, how you doing, Miles? Where have you been? Working. My promotions company is blowing up because after this 2-year hiatus, I'm the only one still around, it seems. So my company has been very, very busy. Omar Khan is the absolute GOAT. Absolutely. Hey, Chow Dad, welcome back to the show, my friend. We have the luxury of having luxury picks in the draft, and that is the base of the show. Thank you so much. I'm going to go over to the comments here on Instagram here quickly before shooting back. But it's been too long talking to you guys, so I'm really happy to see you guys. Oh, Minuti, I see you're on there. Don't know if you've commented yet, but I definitely see you're jumping on. Good to see you, my friend. At least we've been talking back and forth. Hey, Reason, how you doing? GOAT. Definitely there, Herb Hammer. Thank you. I'm playing Let's Go to Pittsburgh. Yeah, Martinez, that's awesome. It's a little piece of Pittsburgh on this show, and we have all of you Yinzers to thank for that as well. Tyson Badgett, not sure on the draft stuff yet. Hardcore. Unfortunately, I've been so damn busy, I haven't gone into the draft stuff. Like I said, any draft person you state, list the player, list the position, list the school, and I will do a better job of my mind knowing the appropriate players and how to answer those questions because I need context. So please give me some context there, Bryce. I appreciate it. Christina, love Omar's move. Keep it coming. Omar's been killing it. You need to work less. We need our lives. If I could do this full time, I would. I'm trying to sell my company. Anybody want to buy it? It's really profitable. A reason to rock. Who's the GOAT in football right now? Omar Khan's pretty much kind of a GOAT the way he's handling free agency. I didn't think a rookie GM would be filling all of our holes as efficiently as he is. He's done a heck of a job. Here we go, Ken boys. Happy Wednesday, Dawn. Here we go, Ush. Man, I love free agency signings. Me too, Ush. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's go, Bucks. Welcome, Bucks fans. You guys are welcome. We are happy. Very happy to have a former Buck now just signed to our team from free agency. Everybody welcome Keanu Neal from the Buccaneers. I know you Bucks fans like him. I love Keanu Neal. Oh, sorry, I got to flip that off right now. My phone is ringing. It's going to make a little noise right now, so I apologize for that. I don't know if I have access to the button here. Oh, I got it. Good. But Keanu Neal is the reason you guys know about talking about this show. I really wanted Carl Joseph back. I love those banging, strong safeties that can force fumbles, make plays. We didn't get Carl Joseph back, but Keanu Neal is an excellent replacement for what Carl Joseph does. Big hitter, way more productive as a tackler, even than Edmonds was. Even though he hasn't been much of a starter, he had a couple years where he's injured after being a Pro Bowler in 2017 when he forced a whopping 3 forced fumbles with 6 passes defense. He had 8 passes defense and 5 forced fumbles his rookie season. Both seasons over 100 tackles there for Atlanta when he was drafted. Hell of a pickup. 2 injury-riddled seasons later, tried to get him back as a free safety here, has still had 100 tackles in 2020, but then with Tampa, he wasn't really that much of a starter. I see he played in a lot of games. He started 5 games of the 14 in 2021. He started just over half, 8 of the 17 last year. So I'm leaving it to you, Bucs fans. Tell me about what those starts are like. what he's doing. I'm going to jump down here quickly to see his snap counts, to see if he upped his play on special teams, and he definitely did. Last 2 seasons, over 100 plays on special teams. So, yeah, we're bringing him in for special teams as well. This is a more athletic Killebrew, in my opinion, but also did what Edmonds can do out there, and also did what Carl Joseph, what we were expecting him to do out there. Khan signed more guys than I expected. Definitely Minuti. I mean, this is his 2nd season. I know everybody's worried. Oh, what about our comp picks? What about our comp picks? We're not getting any. Zero comp picks, Steeler Nation. Why? Because even though I haven't put in everybody's numbers yet, I don't have the numbers for Fehoko yet or for Neal. I estimated Zach Gentry's numbers, but we're at $111 million spent total in free agency. 28 so far on these players. Probably going to bump up there closer to about 29 to 30 here once we finish crediting Fehoko and Neal's contracts. Fehoko also, you guys know, Braden Fehoko from the Chargers, the nose tackle, didn't have a whole lot of snaps, but his snaps kept going up each year. 2 games played his rookie season in 2020. 2021, 8 games played, 1 started. Last year, he played in 9 games, started 3. So his numbers have improved each year. Looks like he does some special teams here as well. Had his most special team snaps in 2021 as opposed to last year. So he was starting to get some good run-stopping snaps. Obviously, we like those big bodies in the middle to try to slow down the running attack, which tends to bite us in the butt here every once in a while. So that's with yours right there. Travel buddy. Gluten Abend, Steeler Nation. How are you today? We're doing good. Guten Abend. Guten Abend. Good to hear you from your German friends. Always welcome on the show. Happy to have you. Thoughts on Keanu Neal and the nose tackle we picked up? We just went over it. So you knew what I was going to talk about. I feel bad. Don't know how to spell or pronounce his name. That's as close as I can get for I have to read it phonetically. Fehoko, because that's usually those names, those Samoan names, Hawaiian names. That's how they read exactly as they're spelled. So he will be Fehoko on the team, and we're happy to have him. Miles, well, this drastically changes what I thought the last vidcast. I don't see us drafting safety above 5th round. Cornerback is the first pick. I think we honestly double dip. Left tackle, cornerback, guys. That's where it's swinging back, though I still do love Branch. Do not get me wrong. Adding Branch's talent to this roster, I think, would be a big push as well. But it looks like we're going to go for the higher value players that would normally be top 10 picks in drafts where you're not going to have up to 4 quarterbacks going top 10, pushing these guys down the need roster toward the Steelers to munch them up at 17. So we might get our top 10 corner for once. We might get our top 10 tackle for once. So now it's time to see how the draft is going to shake up and who's going to be the next in line. Tyson Bagent, quarterback, Shepherd University, Harlem Hill, winner D2. Awesome. So he was the D2 winning quarterback for the championship game this year. Don't know a whole lot on Tyson. I haven't looked into D2 yet, Bryce, but I will start looking into that. Steeler Nation, look into Tyson Bagent as well, from a quarterback from Shepherd University. So that's really cool. Really. Oh, Harlem Hill winner. Harlem Hill winner. Sorry, for best player. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah. But Steelers are taking a quarterback, Bryce. That might be the guy they take. It just might, but they need another quarterback on this roster. Krista, I want JP Jr. or we get Kenny's #1 target from college. You like Addison or Joey Porter Jr. Those are the fan favorites. I think both of those might be better picks at 32. At 17, though, I want to go with a blue chipper. Trying to get a blue chipper at 17. I think those guys are excellent players and are going to be excellent players. But if we get one of those big tackles down in our spot, Jones maybe, that would be awesome. Fire Matt Clownada. Well, Ken Boyle You'll be happy to know that Matt Canada has some help now in the room. We just hired an offensive assistant from, I believe, Arizona State. So, not sure who the guy is, what's going on with the new guy we just added, but still interesting to know, kind of like an offensive assistant's coach being added. His name is Glenn Thomas, our offensive assistant coach. I was hoping for Lombardi, trying to bring him in to help up our quarterback play, but hopefully this guy can do it. Welcome to Team Glenn Thomas. Now we all find out on the show who it is. Krista, I can't wait to see the draft. Omar is going to make some moves. And if you guys can't wait to see the draft, be sure to tune in on our networks because I'm going to be running a live draft show the entire time. Entire time the draft is on TV, instead of listening to those talking heads saying the crap they can't say, we'll have Trey Essex on the show. We'll have our writers and podcasters on the show that know a lot more about the draft than I do. I just know how to have fun, make silly jokes, and talk a little football because I like to make Steeler news fun. Sure, I have opinions. They're all like everyone else. It's just about as right as everyone else, but it's opinion isn't worth hearing unless you're having some fun while you're hearing it. Oh, gee, Steelers in Memphis. Let's go, baby. Welcome, Memphis. I'll be down in Tennessee soon. I think we got some events coming up in Nashville area. Super Nintendo song, right? Minuti, yeah, that was like it's like a 16-bit graphic that plays every time my phone rings because it has to be really annoying. Otherwise, I can't hear it. But I love the old school 16-bit music. Jess meant Pirates, but that's okay. Oh, that's fine, Jess. Minuti, our safety group is stacked. Great, but safety from Bama isn't an option. I think it's possibly an option, or maybe the second safety battle, taking that guy way farther down than Branch, taking maybe in the 4th round. That's an option. Maybe the guy that's injured that I really like, the big guy, oh gosh, out of the purple school, the huge guy. He's like 6'4", 220. I'm drawing a blank on him right now. I went over him on one of my shows. Big Q, Calvin Austin, going to have a good year, I think. I hope so. If he can stay out of the tub and get on the field, sky's the limit for that guy because we need a punt returner and a kick returner. Who will start, KZ or Neal? That great problem. KZ. KZ's your better all-around player. Though, Steeler Nation, KZ might be our starting slot corner. Neal may be starting at the other safety. Or they may bump it around. Like, I think KZ has a better skill set to jump between those two locations. And if we need an extra safety, bring Neal on the field, baby. It's a nice problem to have. Rebecca, welcome to the show. What positions do you think they should draft in the 1st round? Well, let's go to my draft sheet now. Since it's changed a little bit, I haven't even updated the nose tackle or the other safety spot, which we now have. But all of our stuff, the only thing we really haven't touched yet, slot receiver, pending Calvin Austin coming back healthy, that is, because obviously he'll be put in that slot position. But looking to grab some more slot depth in the draft this year, some guy that could possibly also slide out to X and help out if DJ ever goes down with an injury. Fortunately, he played with a busted toe most of the season, and he did a hell of a job. So that's a guy that's willing to play injured, can't walk the first 2 days of the week, comes back and plays in games. You guys forget about Deontay Johnson's toughness. That's something I don't forget about, guys. That guy plays injured, and he plays hard. Sure, he drops some passes, and we all get frustrated with that, but the guy gets open, makes plays, and he's there for us. Plus, he took a pay cut. Guy took a pay cut. He's a Steeler. I like him more than a lot of people do. So looking at my quick sheet here, we need a kick returner, punt returner, slot receivers, preferably a guy that can handle all those roles. The other high one I have up there is cornerback for starters as a possible depth piece. Somebody to bring in. Obviously, Peterson's a rental. 2 years max. Be happy to get 1 good year out of him, but this guy's a rental, and we need a guy for the future. Looking probably cornerback or to upgrade left tackle, which is just the blind side for Kenny, though the team seems very high on Moore Jr. Otherwise, for depth, our nose tackle was just filled. Tight end 2 was just re-signed in Gentry. So those 2 positions are now greens. From reds to greens. Changing them right now. So we can also, I know we're still going to need quarterback depth. Safety depth is now also a green. Since we just picked up Keanu Neal, goes from red to green. So now that's a luxury pick, but offensive tackle, we don't have a backup there. Don't have a backup at third quarterback on the roster currently, or cornerback depth. So I'm seeing corner, offensive tackle, wide receiver, that's a slot-capable returner, being the top spots we're looking to fill, or even an inside linebacker too. Because that inside linebacker depth, even though we've got some depth players in here, can still get a stud maybe that can come in and fill those roles that we used to have when Bush was healthy, when Shazier was healthy, when we had Timmons and he was healthy, and our guy. Those were the ways we used to roll. Travel Buddy, I'm happy what Khan did so far. Can't wait for the dang draft day. Me neither. Yo, y'all. Hey, Robert. Welcome back to the show, my friend. KZ and Neil were both teammates in Atlanta and Dallas. And in Dallas, they have a great chemistry. Neil, while with Cowboys, played middle linebacker for the full season. So we have a versatile player. That would be cool, too. That might have helped out with that inside linebacker role. So I'm not against him coming over and helping out with those. That would be great. What's up, Brian Brown? Miles, thoughts on Jalen Carter not meeting with teams for visits past the 10th pick? That, to me, is a red flag as a GM. If he doesn't want to go on visits outside of the top 10, he thinks he's better than the game and better than the league. Plus, sometimes when people visit a guy that's a top 10 pick, they trade into the top 10 to grab a guy like that. It's a dumb football move. It's a young, immature mindset to have going into the draft. Shows he's not a team player. So if I'm a GM, I don't know if I even want this guy on my team. I don't know if this is a me first guy, which it seems like, that is more interested in getting paid as a high draft pick than trying to come in and make a team better. Great question. Travel Buddy, by the way, because you asked last time and I was late with my text, I became a Steeler fan just because of the colors. My favorite German soccer team have the same colors. That's my favorite German soccer team too. Go Dortmund! All my teams are black and gold, baby. Black and yellow. I am with you 100% on Dortmund. Glad to see they're at the top of the table right now too. Playing some good soccer. Can't wait for that big matchup here coming up soon against Bayern Munich. So good luck to them. I saw Steelers in the back and then decided that's my team, black and yellow for life. So it works both ways. I'm a Steeler fan, love the black and yellow. I love Dortmund now. And I highly recommend Dortmund over the English League, guys. English League has a bunch of floppers. Bundesliga, they have tough players. Tough players. Guys that like to hit, bounce off each other, make plays. Much tougher game in Germany than there is in England. Arizona State. That's it, Miles. You got it. Robert, actually, Steelers standard building through the draft. Standard is going to keep guys in the draft, but pull other teams cast off. More Steelers front office lie about the standard still existing. This is a different standard right here now, Robert. We have been super active in free agency for 2 years in a row now. It is now becoming a new standard for bringing in a lot of talent. And these aren't like the under talents. We're grabbing people in the tampering period. We used to be a team that sat on its thumbs for the first week and a half of free agency while it all died down. Then we picked up the cast-offs. That's not happening now. We're going out. We're making jumps. We grabbed Patrick Peterson. That was a big jump. I would have personally rather have kept our guy with Sutton, but if you lose a guy like that, that's a big jump. KZ was a good jump. Okunjobi, phenomenal jump. Bringing in Seumalu for 3 years, that's a coup. That's a great player on the up who's getting better every year. Same thing with Holcomb. I mean, we're getting some good players, and at least we're not paying the high amounts that we were paying for some of these inside linebackers. I'm expecting these guys to have a little bit more playability in them when they get up and start playing with us. LaRaven Clark, we're killing the offensive line for guys. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys are going to start panning out. Miles, I'll be getting to you here next after going over to Instagram. JC, Hope Khans is as aggressive in the draft. Love aggressiveness, guys. Do not want to trade up. We have 4 picks in 4 rounds, 3 in the first 2. Sorry, 5 picks in 4 rounds. 5 picks in 4 rounds, 3 in the first 2. Super exciting to watch right now what we're going to be doing. 4 picks for the first 2 days of the draft. So don't want to see us trade up as much as maybe trading back a little bit, banking picks, maybe banking a future first. That's the kind of stuff I want to see Khan make, not running to the podium, waiting, delivering to the podium, maybe about halfway through the time. Yep, Steelers are at the podium. Why? Because the last team just picked. That was the way we used to do it under Colbert. Expected much different now under Omar Khan, and excited to see it. Is Mallette on the roster? I believe so. Let me check on the roster right now, which I do have open. Mallette. Yes, he is rostered. So we still have Mallette on the roster, as that's right. He's the slot corner, but that's where we need an upgrade, in my opinion. He was getting hosed in pass coverage last year. I think he's better in his run defense, but we need somebody that can be a little bit of both. Art Rooney got the monies. That's it, Herb. We're spending it in the right ways because we got a rookie quarterback. Do it like the Cowboys. Nobody wants to do it like the Cowboys. Spend all the money in free agency on players that are locker room cancers and never make the playoffs or win in the playoffs? Hell no. We do it like the Steelers. Build a team, try to make it a good locker room, build the chemistry, get everybody to the same team concept, which is the standard. Make the playoffs and start winning. That's how it's done. Do not want to be like the Cowboys for anything like the Cowboys. Especially under Jerry Jones. Sorry, not doing lives today, guys, on Instagram. Junior, diehard Steeler fan since 85. Welcome. That's about when I started rooting for the team, too. I was born 74, but I didn't start watching until 84. That was the year Marino came in the league. We had Malone that got us to the AFC Championship. We lost to Marino. And then 85, I watched the 85 Bears in that Super Bowl, so I remember that well. Minuti, who will be our starters on the offensive line week 1? Seumalu and Daniels. Will be hard to bench Daniels. Yeah, there's going to be some really good training camp wars going on. I have no idea. All I know is Green, you're on notice. Dotson, you're on notice to even making this squad. So I cannot even begin to speculate, plus without even seeing who we're going to draft yet. Though it looks like we are not going to touch interior offensive linemen unless it's a pure center. We may take a pure center in this draft. We have enough guards on this team to have a whole line of guards. So don't see us taking anybody else outside of maybe a tackle. Great tackle if it falls to us. Otherwise, center, I can see us grabbing one. Safety from Atlanta is nice. Big fan of Keanu Neal. Loved him ever since he was drafted and was watching him back there during those draft times. He's drafted about the same or right after, because I always wanted Honey Badger too. I guess Honey Badger was a few years before. Big Q. Branch may be too thin. Oh, if you don't like his size, he might be, but he can hit. He's got a hammer. Herb the Hammer. I'm still big on Dan Moore in the 3rd year. He's getting better and better. And for a 4th rounder, who I think we picked Dotson and Green ahead of him. If I'm going off the top of my head, I know it's close. I know it was right around there. Don't remember if we picked Dotson after Moore or Moore after Dotson, but for him to be still the guy on the line, starting, getting better every year, says a lot. So if he keeps getting better, sky is the limit because he's already solid. Nada. Thanks, Phil. Herb. Glenn Thomas is the little brother of Wendy's founder, Dave Thomas. Okay, I'm lying. I like that. That's a good joke, and we always like humor on the show. MP Chero, let's go Steelers. Do we trade up and get Jalen Carter? Probably not. Like I said, I don't see us doing a trade up, especially when we don't have a pick between rounds 4 and round 7. I can see us trading back and banking some picks in those ranges, but don't see us really trading up for this draft. Great draft with you. Kuiper is terrible. Thanks, Minuti. Be sure to be on the show. Best way to watch it is YouTube too, guys. I know it's going to be tougher for me. I'll probably have it on for Instagram, but if you want your questions asked, go over to YouTube when you're watching the draft. Steeler Nation, YouTube/Steeler Nation, of course. Krista, have Mike Tomlin and Hayward mold him into a better player. That's what we need. Javi, hey, how optimistic are you about the season realistically? Very. We barely missed the playoffs last year. I am expecting a playoff run this year. Flat out. Why? Because our team has gotten better. Cincinnati and the Ravens have gotten a ton worse. Ravens are going to be a dumpster fire if they don't have a quarterback. If they can't figure out a way to get their guy back in the house, Lamar leaves, so does the Ravens' chances of winning games. They're like a 5-win team without Lamar, and they got an extra game. So I'm not expecting much out of them. Cleveland is Cleveland. They'll find a way to screw something up because they do with all the talent in the world. And since he lost a lot of their defensive players and they're starting to lose some of their players that are in free agency, didn't really replace them. We got the better safeties grabbed in free agency. When we get KZ back, we get Keanu as well. So I'm super happy with those two pickups when they lose their big guys. So they're probably looking to grab Branch in that first round. I love how quarterbacks can play multiple positions. They kind of have to, Herb. Kind of have to. And that's usually not something that a lot of players can do. Keep Kenny clean, number 1, first pick. That's the offensive tackle. Minuti, we have Miller, but I don't know. He is nothing special. Miller. Why am I drawing a blank on Miller? I know we have Anthony Miller. Are you talking about Anthony Miller, our wide receiver? Yeah, I mean, he's a good player. He's a guy that can transition into that role because he can play big slot. He can play outside. He can play kick and punt return. So I do like Anthony Miller if we're talking about Anthony Miller for this discussion. So he's going to have a good battle here in preseason for that wide receiver spot. I really feel like we win the division this year. Schedule isn't too heavy. No, it comes down to being able to beat Cincy. We got to beat Cincy. Hopefully more than once. Said about kick returner, punt returner, why didn't we drop Gunner yet? We will eventually. I'm telling you, he's not going to make the roster. He's got at least an uphill battle to make this roster, especially if we draft somebody else and Austin is healthy. He's not going to make the roster. People said that our linebackers aren't good on coverage. Thoughts? Truth. That's pretty much it. Though Cole, the new guy that we picked up, is actually very good in coverage. Cole Holcomb. So an off-ball linebacker that can make plays, that helps. Though I'm still about going through the draft to trying to find somebody that can get us good. Looking good. Thank you, AK. Seeing MTL. Montreal. Hey! Yeah, text me back, guys. Still trying to figure out if those dates work for you. I'm coming up to Montreal to visit your beautiful Montreal, right? It's because I can't say the T. So thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you guys soon. That yellow wall from Dortmund is amazing. Exactly. And I love the way they play D. If you love defensive soccer, like you love defensive football, watch Dortmund, my friends. And honestly, Bundesliga is a way more defensive league. Yes, sir. Should be 5. Santos from Pele, black, white, yellow. I'm just saying. That's it, Menudo. Got a lot of colors down there in Brazil. That's fine. I like the Gentry re-sign more than people think. Gentry was one of my top 5 re-signs for this team. Going into the season, we re-signed 2 of them. We got KZ and we got Gentry. We lost out on Cam Sutton. We lost out on Robert Spillane, but we upgraded with Holcomb, in my opinion. And we lost out on Carl Joseph, who I wanted back because he's a very talented safety, but getting Keanu Neal wipes that one away for me. So we've done a really good job of replacing the people that I really wanted on our team. Cam Sutton replaced by Patrick Peterson, who you can also move around and play some safety like Sutton did. Robert Spillane replaced by Holcomb, a better off-ball linebacker than Robert Spillane. Carl Joseph being replaced by Keanu Neal, a better all-around safety than Carl Joseph, though I do like the way Carl Joseph plays downhill, hitting football. Unfortunately, he could not stay healthy last season. Miles, back to you guys. So the new offensive system of the Falcons in 2008 to 2014, I think, Then he went to be a quarterback coach in Temple, then Baylor, Arizona State. He's had some recent down years, but I think that was one of the years was that when Atlanta? No, Atlanta made the Super Bowl more recently than 14, I think. But at least it's the start of Matty Ice time. Travel Buddy! Johnson's the best wide receiver without touchdowns in NFL history. Hopefully it won't continue. The worst is like he had 2 with his toe on the line. Barely missed out on a couple last year, but I expect him to get some this year. At least 1. Travel Buddy, dang. Let you know I like Dortmund, but my team isn't Dortmund. It's Alemannia Aachen, a team from the 4th division. Wow, that's awesome. I'll have to look them up too, because I only know the teams in the upper part of or the top part of the league for Bundesliga. I don't know down to 4th division. But that's really cool. That is awesome. Robert, what is DJ's career drop rate? Percent? What is an average drop rate of another team's number 1 receiver? Drop rate of a 5'10" receiver in the NFL. DJ's percentage is below that. Steelers pay him like a top 10. Actually, his drop rate is lower than Tyreek Hill, and it's lower than that receiver out and the Rams that won like won the trifecta that year. What was his name? The white receiver out there. You guys know who I'm talking about. Lower drop rate than both of those guys. So, it hurts that he does it in bunches at the end of the season. He was also playing with a bum toe at the end of the year too. So your hometown discount, BS. About DJ is even more meaningless if the Steelers have not gotten their money's worth when factoring in his high drop percent. Hey, look at him leading the team in his statistics again, other than touchdowns. Still gets the targets, still gets wide open, and he's going to be Kenny's safety blanket for years to come. If the Steelers go back, run back heavy with offensive line, then Dotson is a keeper. And while LT is a 6th man off the bench, not great, run blocker, all the inside offensive line free agents are on overdue bye-bye to Green, not Dotson. Yeah, I think Green's probably the one that's seen the worst descent since that draft, starting out as the starting safety out or starting center out of the box when first drafted, 2nd year, going to backup offensive guard, competing with Dotson, losing out in that competition, and not even being a backup center. Lost out on that one to Hassenauer as well, which is odd because I'd assume you try to have Green as a backup center. They're like, nope, he's not a center. He's a guard. Let's try to make him there because he's super speedy, really athletic. I love the way he's the best pulling guard we have on the team if he's on the field, but you got to be able to stop people from getting your quarterback. You got to be able to push guys in the running game. He hasn't been able to do either of those things. So that's the weirdest drop. And this might be the drop off the roster now with all the people that we brought in, though none of these guys are locked into the roster. These are all just free agent bring-ins. They all have to earn their positions on the field in training camp. So it'll be the offensive line battles are going to be absolutely insane because we've got a ton of guard talent now and interior offensive line talent. I just don't see any room for throwing a rookie in there. Travel Buddy, but you're correct with the fan scene. German fan culture is another level than any spot in the U.S. as you can see during the first Munich game last year. Absolutely. And also football fans, American football fans, not just football fans in general for the around ball for worldwide. When the World League of Football was still around and it was getting toward the end, 5 teams of the 8 were in Germany. 5 of them in Deutschland. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in Germany, and they loved American football. They tailgated for it. They loved the hard-hitting defensive play. There is a market in Germany for defensive football, which is why we have Travel Buddy here on our show. And I don't know if you ever watched any of those old teams or if you ever had any favorites from the German portion of the World League or the European League of when we were playing American football over there. But let me know that too, Travel Buddy. I'd be interested to hear. Back over here to Instagrams. V-Chip. Why are you talking like that? I'm not sure the context of that. I talk a lot. Thank you for the shirt. This was from Mountain Dew. Spark. We were working the airports last year for the Cherry Blossom Festival. So we added some cherry blossoms to the shirt to make it a little bit more dressy for the occasion. And we're working the cherry blossoms at the airport again this Friday, next Friday at Dulles and at Reagan International Airport. So if you're walking around those airports, we're actually going to be handing out Starry, and we got a prize wheel. We're going to be giving out prizes and stuff too. So if you're in those airports, stop on by for some free prizes between 12 and 5 on Friday in both of those airports. And they're both post security. So you got to be on a flight or getting on a flight or getting off of a flight to see those. V-Chip, Nolan Smith, Pittsburgh. Let's go. Awesome. I'm curious to see who will start at guard on week 1. Daniels was our best guy. Yeah, he was. But still, his seat is not assured. It's not. Like, guys, Dotson might show up and just be, like, mad. Dotson might be throwing people around and starting fights like he did as a rookie. So I'm excited to see what Dotson can even do out there. So that'd be awesome. Dusseldorf, Rhein Fire, of course. Rhein Fire was a great team. That had the dragon, I believe, the dragon logo on the helmet. Love that team. Great call there, Travel Buddy. Great call. Retire 58. Uh-oh. Somebody wants 58 to retire. Now I got to look up who that is on the team. Sorry, guys, I don't have everything memorized. My brain is mush from all the events I've been doing, but I'll see who 58 is. We currently don't have one on the roster. Oh, you want to take it off the roster from the guy that used to play 58. Can't even remember. I've got brain slush right now. So you guys need to help me out on that, Steel City. Must be blocked. I don't see nobody's comments. I wouldn't block you, V-Chip. I see your comments. Dotson? Yeah, sure. Black Sister. Have they started the drafts? No, draft is at the end of the month, Black Sister. We're doing a show, my show, the Steeler Nation draft show, which is usually on YouTube. I'm going to try to have it up here as well, unless the higher-ups tell us to put it on TikTok. Don't know where it's going to be. But if you want to join us, youtube.com/Steeler Nation. The entire time the draft is on, I am on the air. I don't take bathroom breaks like Kuiper, but that is coming up at the end of the month. The Thursday, the 27th is the first day of the draft. That starts at 8 p.m. Our coverage would start at 7:30. Friday, it starts at 7 p.m. On the 28th, I'd start at 6:30. And I believe Saturday starts at noon, so I'm usually on the air at 11:30. I stay on through the draft and an extra hour until we grab our undrafted rookie free agents, and we just have a good time talking about everybody coming on and have a lot of guests, a lot of former players. Trey Essex will be there too. So we're really looking forward to the draft coverage, and you should too, Black Sister. So put down April 27th, 8 p.m., April 28th, 7 p.m., and the 29th at noon to watch all of our draft coverage and have some fun. We'll see you then. Krista, Jared Wayne is way better than Addison. We already have Deontay Johnson. We don't need a duplicate. We need Wayne as a better juju in the slot. Big slot's big now. That causes mismatches. Anthony Miller can be a big slot. I've seen him do it in college. And the cool thing about Anthony Miller as a big slot, he also did it too on one of his other teams that he played for in the league. He's able to run fly patterns out of the slot and rip the top off the field. So if you have your George Pickens do a comeback route and your slot guy on his side run a fly, it is going to cause that safety a brain fart, and we're going to have a wide open deep touchdown. Like, that's going to be the cool stuff to see if we can get a guy, whether it be a draft pick as a slot capable big slot that's also fast, or whether Anthony Miller can finally make this team and be healthy. Chris as well, people are sleeping on him because Addison had more playing time. That's a very good point. Minuti, people love Addison for Pitt. Yeah, of course. I mean, people always love the hometown guy. We got our guy last year in George Pickens, so why wouldn't they be excited? Bryce, Joey Fisher, right tackle, Shepherd University, did 40 reps. Wow, that is impressive, Joey. That is impressive. Bryce, thank you for sharing that. Obviously, you must be a Shepherd University, either grad, student, or live in the area. But that's awesome stuff to hear. And that's something that might get a guy in the NFL, because 40 reps is kind of insane. Minuti, Ravens is making offseason more fun. Ravens have made 0 moves. I think they brought in one guy in free agency. I just remember because I live in the Baltimore area. I get to hear their news, but I forget who it was. But they created their own mess with Lamar Jackson. They do not have a quarterback. There are no viable quarterbacks in free agency to win you games. Plus, I don't think they even have Tyler Huntley under contract. So they got to go with a completely new offense next year, completely new quarterback. Who knows what that team's going to be? Plus, they paid a mercenary their highest numbered contract to say, we're going with a mercenary in Baltimore as our top paid player over our franchise quarterback. Enjoy it, locker room. How do you feel about it? That's what's going to mess up that team. Where's the cap situation, and what about Bud Dupree? Sham, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Bud is currently. I know he came in for the visit. He did not get instantly signed. I don't know if he's looking for more playing time. Definitely is going to be a backup player on our team. We laid it out. Look, Bud, you'll be a backup. If you'll be coming in, you haven't been healthy the last 2 years. This gives you a chance to reduce your snaps, put on some more good film, make some plays, do it as a backup. To me, it's a win-win, but the only reasons to me why the Steelers would not sign Bud Dupree sight on scene, one, he didn't pass his physical. That would be number one. Number two, his expectations are different than the Steelers' expectations, which means he wants more money than the Steelers want to pay a backup outside linebacker, $3 to $4 million window, in my opinion, for a 1 or 2 year contract over that time to up it. That's where I see his value at currently. But I'll give you the cap situation here soon. We are looking that we are currently estimated $10 million under the cap for the top 51. We are over the cap for all of the players on the roster. So we still have some room with top 51. I forget how the rules go for what you have to carry and when. But I also don't know if our newest guys have been added to the cap. Nope. Fehoko's not on here yet. Gentry's not on, and Neal's not on here as well. Gentry's going to get about $1 million. That's about the value for a backup tight end. So, and all those guys should be right around that range, especially looking at their stats. These guys aren't starters except for Keanu, but Keanu had 2 down years. So I'm expecting these guys. Keanu's probably going to be the best paid guy, probably closer to 2. Fehoko and Gentry are going to be around 1. So that would bring our cap, if I'm just doing the math in my head, adding it and deducting it from this, we would be looking at about 10, 9, 8, about $7 million left in cap space, which is what we need to cover for our draft signees, as well as anybody that happens to have to grab if somebody gets hurt. Plus, we're going to make some drops here in training camp, and that's going to open up some cap room as well. I'm expecting to be right around 10 when the season starts, with the way that the team is put together right now. And let me go down here quick, see if they actually have the have adjusted for. No, it doesn't look like they've adjusted for the players yet, but our dead money is on here, not our draft picks. So yeah, so we will need about $5 million for draft picks. Soccer team from Chile, use our logo. Search for Deportivo Alchipato. Deportivo Alchipato. Awesome. I'm going to put that in my thing right now. Take a look at it. Deportivo Hauch Ipato. Deportivo Alchipato. There it is. Look at that! Love that steel logo there, Deportivo Achipato. I'll show this over to our guys because I can do things like share screens. I even love this logo too. Let's share this screen. See if I can drop this down and grab it for our feed. So you guys at home watching can see what I am looking at. If I figure out how to share screens again. Present. There we go. That's not it. I thought it was just a button. Where's my share screen button? I don't see it. Yeah, it should be this. Share screen. There it is. I found it. Share, select a window or screen. D4Pedo. We're looking at this right now. Allow. And I'm adding it to the stream. These are some cool logos here, guys, down in Chile. Thank you for sharing. There's another logo showing the shield. I kind of like the logo On the opposite side here, too, it's almost like Pittsburgh Penguins infused logo, too, using that light blue and the black with the yellow, red, and black that we see for the Steel City as well. Very, very cool stuff. Thank you so much for sharing. Here on the show, you never know what we're going to be talking about on this show. That is awesome, Manudi. Thank you for that piece of South American knowledge that we now have. German people always are drunk. Manudi, you're confusing us with the Irish. The Irish people are always drunk. The German people only get drunk after work. Manudi, I can say it because I'm both German and Irish, guys. So before you start flaming me, Irish tattoo, eat it. But man, if you can't say party, you have to put Brazil on the list. You're damn right about that. The biggest party in the world every year down in Rio. Because playoffs running up this year. Definitely. We're going to be there. Mark it. Big Rich. Dotson's best chance is to move to tackle. I don't know if Dotson can play tackle. He was a right tackle all through high school and college. He made All-American as a right tackle for Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajuns. But it's tougher to move out than it is to move in. Usually tackles can move in easier, more of a technical position. You're on an island. Guard, you have help on both sides. So other than the skill position player, which is center in the middle, it's got to touch the ball every play. Pittsburgh Steelers fan out of Virginia Beach. Yes. I'll be down in Chesapeake, Virginia for the working the Walmart down there, actually. We're having a big ceremony to commemorate, or not to honor, I guess, memorialize the shooting that happened last year. That's going to be on April 19th from 8 a.m. till 12. If you want to be down there, we're going to have Chester Cheetah. We're going to have giving out free samples of Starry. Also doing a Starry can there, as well as giving out free bags of chips. So April 19th, put on your calendar for the Chesapeake, Virginia one, the one there in Sam's Circle in Chesapeake, and we'll see you then. Dotson is too big to move for guard, I think. Yeah, he's a big boy. Is 58 Jack Lambert? Let me look over my shoulder. I thought I had Jack Lambert on my wall somewhere. I did in my old basement. I do not have him on this one. I think that is. It's a number that we don't issue. That probably would be Jack Lambert. Thanks, Big Rich, for getting back to that answer. This season is going to be very entertaining. Definitely, Herb. What do you think about the offensive coordinator hire? More minds in there, the better, because Canada can always use some help. Though, guys, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and it's a limb that very few Steeler fans tread on. And it's just something that I noticed last season with Matt Canada. He switched up the play style to help Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was throwing nothing but interceptions and a wide open pass attack. Let's scale it back. Short pass attack, heavier run out offense. And now we became a much better overall team moving forward after that happened. So it helped out. Kenny's interceptions went from 8 in the first 4 games down to 2 for the whole rest, his final 8 games that he played. Touchdowns went way up. Better player. So that's the one thing I can say that I did appreciate about Matt Canada. But hopefully he takes those handcuffs off this year. Since Kenny is just doing nothing but film study, he's a big film geek. I'm expecting him to be a much better player when he hits the field, because we want players at quarterback that want to be the best that they can be. Absolutely would be awesome. What do you think of Johnson for a 1 first or second round pick? I am not on the trading Deontay Johnson for a pick, because if we trade him, we have to get a first rounder to replace him, which is a question mark. Is he going to be as good as Deontay Johnson? Deontay Johnson is right now metrically the best wide receiver in the league at gaining separation. Flat out, you can see it. It's a metric. I see it every game. All I got to do is hold on to the ball, and he's unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. And I'll get to your questions here too, Robert. I'm just had to go through everything on the other side as well. Will new offensive coach take over all in-game decision-making with stuff like throwing flags, clock management, and other head coach 101 stuff Tomlin can't do well? I thought that's what Flores was going to do last year, and Austin is supposed to be helping out with that. But We need somebody a full-time in the box that does that kind of stuff, Robert. I'm with you. I think we lose out on some plays because of it. Cross our fingers, Coach T. Unwieldy ego doesn't stop Art 2 from giving in-game decision-making to an assistant coach who actually knows what he is doing as opposed to Mr. Tomlin. Travel Buddy, it would look like draft, drink, and for every trade we have to drink, a shot. That's what I do. Welcome to our draft show, Travel Buddy, right here on your YouTube network, which you are jumping from. That is what we do when we add a new player to the team. We toast to it, Prost, and we will have a drink and enjoy each other's company, talk about the new player, welcome them to the team with a hearty cheers. And I think you just brought up a new rule. If the Steelers trade up or back, we drink. Good call. We're adding that to the show, Travel Buddy. The only real free agent Baltimore got was Nelson Agholor. That's right. Signed a 1-year, $3 million contract with Baltimore, including $2 million. Thank you for sparking my brain. Nelson Agholor is the perfect Baltimore Ravens stat wide receiver. The guy sucks. He's never been able to do it. Drafted in the first round by the Eagles. That's right, because I was back living in Philadelphia when they drafted him the first time. Oh, gosh. The guy has no stats, doesn't have a great high-end speed, doesn't have great separation, not a very good route runner. Perfect guy to have in Baltimore, to have, who knows, throwing him the football. Because the guy is limp toast. Absolutely wet bread. It's the best for that is like the most Ravens signing ever. At least when they were used to Baltimore used to go out and get great wide receivers. They went out and got Derek Mason that 1 year from Tennessee at the time. Mason was a phenomenal receiver. They went out and got the Mighty Mouse. Oh gosh, the great receiver pound per pound from the Carolina Panthers. Forget that guy's name, but he's a great receiver. Probably the best short receiver to ever play in the league. A bowling ball as well. Then they got Anquan Bolden. Won a Super Bowl with Bolden. For Jump Ball Joe to be able to throw his jump ball passes too. A guy like Agholor, though, can't do any of those things great. They completely missed on the guys that should be able to come and make this team better in the wide receiver room. Agholor does not do it. And when you're paying a wide receiver 3.25 mil, he's not there to fix your team. He's there to take a roster spot. That's it. 3.25 mil wide receivers don't make Pro Bowls, don't make 1,000 yards. Nelson Agholor has never had a 1,000-yard season. Going to the Baltimore Ravens means he will never have a 1,000-yard season. Congratulations. Welcome to Baltimore. Making, not masking. Mr. Thomas' mask is slipping now. And all that Cowers guys have left with retirement. Great John Mitchell, Kevin Colbert, even Coach T, Brown Napsters. We will see. We'll see. This is going to be a fun year to see because we can't rely on all that old stuff that Colbert used to. Though, I mean, you might say, those are Colbert's drafted guys. Let's see how he does with guys that weren't drafted by Colbert. Though he was in the same rooms that Colbert was when he was drafting those guys. So that's the way it goes. Travel Buddy, we aren't getting drunk. We grow up with the beer in our veins. Our goal is to get rid of the dang blood, which is sadly also there. Exactly. Plus, you guys do it right. I mean, there's no drinking age over there. There's open beers on the table. But when you're mixing it with juice, you're barely having a beer. Right? Beer meat Appensoft. I've had that. Beer meat Appensoft many times. Over in Germany, that's mixed into apple juice with beer. It's phenomenal. Mellows out some of those spikier Pilsners. Makes it for a great entertainment. You get the Grunensofts and the over in Munich as well. So really fun way to have some different drinks. Herb, you better not be wearing Depends. I know I got to adjust the camera on draft day. I don't wear Depends on draft day, but I do have a special pee bottle. But I actually I'll take 5 minutes and leave the room. When I got enough people on the show, I will excuse myself, do my leakage, come back. Got a utility sink just over in the other room. Round pick, one pick I meant. Yes, I know what you meant. Talking about April events, April 6th, my birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Manuti. I hope you have a big party in Brazil for your birthday. Wonderful to hear, my friend. Happy birthday. How many years young are you now? Yeah, Aguilar, he's white hot garbage. Okay, that's good. Ravens and Packers GM should both be canned. Is that it, Big? Oh, I got what you're saying, Big Rich. Yeah, good call. Yeah, Packers are screwing the pooch here. And they've got to figure out a way to move Aaron. Honestly, got to do it. This is the only time you're going to get anything out of that guy, and you got to get rid of that $50 million off of your contract, off of your cap for this year. They screwed the pooch re-signing him to another contract. Guy didn't really even want to play. When you start talking about retirement, you have already mentally retired. That is one of the best quotes I've ever heard in the NFL. And when people start talking retirement, they're already a foot in retirement out the door. So Aaron Rodgers has been talking about retirement for 2 years now. His foot's already out the door. Doug and Drew, I'll come back and hear you after. That's great, man. Great to hear. Plus, what this is you can rebroadcast our show over in the YouTube channel /Steeler Nation. It's available there right when we're finished up. Talk about drafting Addison. I love Pittsburgh as much as the next guy. We got our Pitt player last year. Best Pitt player, the top Pitt player I might want to grab this year might be the defensive lineman as opposed to Addison. Addison would only make Kenny Pickett happy. I don't know if we have enough things filled on this team to make it a better team by grabbing Addison so high, when it would be more of a luxury pick. If he'd be willing to play slot, it could be a good play. I don't remember is he a kick and punt returner as well? If he is, that would move him up my draft board, to tell you the truth. Klutz, you can't out-debate me on the Addison pick. That's great. Keep coming. I mean, this is an open discussion. I'm not going to make fun of anybody's decision. I'm just giving you my own personal opinion on Addison. I think he's a luxury. I think he's an absolute luxury that would make Kenny Pickett happy. I think it's got a better chance of happening at 32. I think it has zero chance of happening at 17. Day one, it's not going to happen. So if somebody else likes Addison on day one, probably not going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers with our needs and what we're probably going to be bringing in. Minuti, our carnival is National Week party for no reason, and 9 months later. Right. Minuti, I got to get with you sometime to actually plan and come down during Carnival. And if you can show me the right way to do it, I would happily join you and we can have some fun. That'd be awesome. Ramon, who do you think is going to be the replacement on the weak side? You talk about weak side linebacker, weak side offensive line, weak side corner. Give me a little bit more context on that way. I'm not sure. If you're talking about weak side inside linebacker, I think that's going to be the Hamels dude we just brought up. Johnson is a drops king and maybe making too much money. Well, people in his stratosphere are making way more. Hill is actually the drop king, and he makes way more than the other guys. Hey, Dog's back. Why are you ducking my debate? I'm not going. Nobody's going live, Klutz. I've got too many platforms open, my buddy. Do you know Addison is the right pick? You know Addison is the right pick? I don't know he's the right pick. I don't think he's the right pick at 17. If you're asking me, I don't think he's, for what the Steelers probably are going to put it down as their high draft board. It's either going to be Branch, it's going to be an offensive tackle, or it's going to be a corner, because those are going to be the highest values on the board when we draft. If we're going BPA, which it looks like we're doing it now. Did Mike T push Jerry O off the staff this year too? If so, Jerry O, John Mitchell, and Kevin Colbert were the last of Coach Cowher's people. Now we all see Mike Tamlin's mask is slipping. That's an interesting point. I like that point, Robert. Lots of new people here. There is an age beer plus wine with 16 and everything else 18 plus. That's right. That's right. Okay. So beer and wine is 16. Hard alcohol is 18 over. Great. Because I think when I traveled there in the 90s, I don't remember if there was a drinking age back then. Because I remember at 16, I was drinking. So that's probably why the beer thing was working. Right, travel buddy. We got you. We got you. Love that. All right, guys, we're getting toward the end of the show. I'm going down through your last questions. He already said, Addison, our messages have some. Yeah, I'm going back and forth between all the questions, guys. I've also got YouTube and Twitter over here as well, doing some. We usually have Facebook off, but right now our link isn't working. He better be with Addison. Nah, you don't like my answer. I'm done with the Steelers. Wish y'all the best. Enjoyed my time with y'all when Big Ben was there. Thanks, Carolina. I don't know if you're a Carolina Panther fan, but there's a lot of Steelers influences in Carolina as well. We're happy to have Carolina Panther fans as well. Don't underestimate the Baltimore Ravens. I think this year, I've already said it on my podcasts, Harbaugh is on the hot seat this year, and he's going to be taking it on the chin hard if they don't have Lamar Jackson, because he is one of the biggest reasons why they don't have Lamar Jackson. He did not go to bat for him. So fans might get pissed off at him. The fans are already calling him Harbage, which is the best nickname ever. Better than anything I could think of, but I'm sure as hell going to use Harbage as much as I can. He's going to have a tough year. Steve Smith. Thank you, Minuti. That was definitely the guy I was trying to be. Hall of Famer, Steve Smith. Great receiver. Now they have the Aguilar, Portman, and Prochet. Yeah, guys that really just are guys. Oh, gosh. They're kick returner and punt returners, but they're not receivers. It's going to be super funny watching them play. Smith from Carolina. Yeah, now I'm catching up to where I was. Sorry about it being so long. Going to be 30. Yeah, happy 30th, my man. Appreciate all the work you put in. Oh, thank you, Milo. I appreciate that. I do it for fun because I've got a full-time job. I run a business that has a couple offices up and down the East Coast. So this is just for poops and ha-has as the G-rated version for the SH word and giggles is what I like to go. Pirates predictions. Oh, Pirates. Pirates. I thought they were relegated. Have they been promoted to the major league yet? I'm a Pirates fan, but man, it's tough to really like the Pirates when they haven't been, relevant since Barry Bonds played for them. And when his head was like 2 sizes smaller. Big cuss. Yes. Put RT and kick return. Yep. Got you there. Was fun. Have a great night. Thanks, Minuti. You too, my friend. Harbage. Yeah, now I'm catching up. Thanks, guys. Big Fuzz. Or Big Cuz. Sorry, Big Cuz. Just lost your one there. Pittsburgh is going back to the number 1 in the AFC North. Kings of the North. I'm with you there, Big Cuz. Pirates is a hat trademark? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Pirates is a hat trademark. I imagine the P on their hat is trademarked, but I don't know what you mean by a hat trademark. Back in the 90s, no one gave a crap. You're damn right. That would be it because we had 14-year-olds on that trip that were drinking. So that was probably it. Back in the 90s, Stryker was getting drunk in Germany. Woo. Yes, I love Group Love more than I love the show BoJack Horseman. All right, guys, that's all the time I've got on the show. Thank you so much for all the great content tonight. A lot of great things to talk about. I will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any quick slants. I've just been so damn busy going around with all my work and getting all my events. And of course, with the, we're supposed to do Baltimore Orioles opening day tomorrow. They changed it from tomorrow to Friday. So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to staff it. So it's going to be crazy. We'll figure something out. I just see the Pirates. They're the best thing. Yeah, I hear you. Smash Mouth 2003 AFC North football like it's meant to be. Thanks, Herb the Hammer. I hope they bring the hammer this year. Guys, that's all the time I got on the vidcast. Sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. Be sure to check us out. All of our great articles at SteelerNation.com. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, we've got tons of great writers. Our podcast network, the Multimedia Network, is going to be blowing up here in the next couple weeks, especially launching here at the draft with the big draft show that we have every year. So I'm happy to see you over there as well. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Steeler Nation, on Facebook and Instagram at SteelerNation.com. You can follow me, your host, Steeler Nation Stryker, at SN Stryker, Stryker, spelled with a Y. Why? Because I'm crazy for the Steelers. So be sure to go over, give me a follow. I'm on most of the platforms under that as well. Thank you very much, Travel Buddy. You have a wonderful evening as well, Robert, too. Funny how weak side needs Steelers' highest paid defense in NFL history is ironically weak. I think they're going to be a lot stronger this year, man. I'm expecting top 3. I want to say number 1. We've been number 1 before. We were definitely number 1 last year in interceptions. So hopefully we can stay up there at least in some way, shape, or form. Want to get back up to number 1 also in sacks. Herb the Hammer. Yep. Better I'll be online on Tuesday. I will. Come hell or high water. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Market Minuti. I'll see you then. Till then, I've been your host, G.Stryker. Rooting along with you as always. Go